Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having a great day. Look, it's Sunday. I'm in the office. I'm trying to get finished up and get out of here, but I know I promised you guys I was going to do some more reading out of Born in Captivity. And I enjoyed doing it the first time. But one thing I'm going to do for sure is I'm going to shorten the segment. I'm only going to read uh, about 4 or 5 paragraphs, but I'm going to make sure the paragraphs that I read moving forward are going to really hit a particular topic that we can talk about a little afterward and then down the line. But I want to make some valid points and give you some context on a lot of the things I talk about and share constantly in my videos, but from a more structured presentation so you can kind of see what's in the book, but you can also see where I came from, and you'll get to see with better clarity the years of research that has gone into what I present in writing, what I present in video content, in lectures, etc. So this is going to stay on the theme of family for this segment. Then we'll move to something else next week. But the first one was about primarily family. This is going to be about family, but this is going to be about family, class, and poverty. And we're going to talk about it real briefly, move through it. I'm excited about this. I'm sharing some reading from a number of books. Earlier, I did Critical Mass, which is a book on personal development, personal growth, personal empowerment. And it was very transparent. So if you haven't read it, go read it. It's going to give you a background to my story and let you know who I am, what I am, but how I got here and why. There's a level of power behind what I talk about. I'm not just talking to hear myself talk. There's a story behind it. There's a process that I've gone through. It was a little emotional for me because it took me to some places that I had to fight to get out of. But if it helps to bless one person, if it helps to empower one individual, it's worth it to me. I'm in a new place. I'm in a great space, but it took me back to losing my parents and losing everything I had and having to start over. But look at me, uh, man. Go check that particular reading out. I guarantee you, not only will the story bless you. This isn't just a reading; it's a story. It's behind everything that you get to see now. But go ahead and check that out. But anyway, here we go. We're gonna get this, and we're gonna go and get out of here so I can get home because the wife is waiting on me to bring some stuff for her gumbo, and I don't want to get in trouble. So here we go. Why family is important when addressing class, mobility, and poverty. That's the name of the subsection of this particular chapter. What chapter am I in? Let's, man, man, this is, I should have shortened these chapters. Good Lord. Okay. The disintegration of the Black family nucleus. Read from this chapter yesterday. It's so huge. Uh, that this is just another subsection, but we're only going to read a few paragraphs, so don't run off. So why the family is important when addressing class, mobility, and poverty. Here we go. There's no shortage of well-articulated articles that illuminate the negative impact that poverty has had on the Black collective, emphasizing the fact that class matters and class is dictated by economic fluidity. What is rarely elucidated at a level in which the importance of the Black family become evident is the fact that poverty in Black America is multi-generational, and this multi-generational impediment is intricately intertwined and inextricably connected to the collapse of the nuclear Black family in the inner city neighborhoods in America. In 1960, nearly 75% of Black children were born into homes in which both parents were present. However, the Black family suffered a major blow over the last 50 years, with more than 70% of Black children being born into single parent households as of last dated, with the predominance of these homes being headed by Black women. There's a wealth of pragmatic and empirical evidence that reveals just how devastating the absence of a parent can be in the proper development and preparation of a child. What the numbers also reveal is that these single mothers are significantly more likely to be impoverished. They are more likely to pass the ideologies and paradigms that underwrite that poverty to their children. There are some sophisticates that make the postulation that single parenthood is simply an inevitable reality that is a result of a shift in cultural paradigms impacting all nationalities and races. And it is true that the social implications of a more self-centered ideology have produced more divorces and more single-parent households across the board. However, no group has been negatively impacted by this force more than Blacks. I would also venture out to say that because of where we have always been and where we started from, we were the least capable of dealing with this shift in paradigms in which the family is being scoffed. The concept of family is being scoffed at. And the final paragraph, for the individual who is willing to put in the work while abandoning their biases, it is easy to develop a lucid perspicacity of how the destruction of the Black family nucleus and the introduction of the single parent paradigm has wreaked immeasurable havoc on the Black collective. Yet, there has been very little discussion about the current state of the Black family. There are plenty of discussions surrounding racial inequality and economic castration, but there is a deafening silence when it comes to the current state of the Black family. I have said this over and over again, and this isn't just some opinion. This is studying throughout history. Anytime marriage and family have been scoffed at in whatever way, in whatever culture it exists, when family is abandoned for an individualized mindset, for an individualized ideology, in the moving away from the family concept, the civilization in its entirety has suffered. When you began to look at history, it reveals that the further you get away from the idea of family, the more you move into antinomianism, where everybody is pursuing their own desires with no focus on consequence, no commitment or sense of belonging to a something larger than themselves. So you move into what we see now, this live and let live society. It's not my business society. We don't have a village anymore society. Those are your children society. So on one side, it's, you know, parents trying to rear children on their own, many instances, single parents. I was a single parent. I was a single parent with means, and I can still tell you it was extremely difficult. Uh, so I know what it's like, you know, to a certain extent. You know, fortunately, when I was parenting my oldest children as a single father, the one thing we didn't have to worry about was money. But there's so many other things that were missing in that house. There were so many other things that I could not do. There were so many other things that required a balance that simply wasn't there, and we had to figure it out. And so what I'm saying is the idea of family is, again, as I stated on I believe it was Friday when I did the first reading, look, there needs to be a balance that creates harmony in the home. A balance of masculine energy, a balance of feminine energy, a balance of roles that play out, and in a sense of a knowledge and understanding of your role in it. In other words, a person has a role and an assignment. This isn't about relegating anybody to some old ancient idea of what is. It's about simply understanding when you know your role, you are held accountable to your role. There's a level of responsibility and accountability in the family. This is what we're going to do. This is, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. When you need help, you let me know. When I need help, I'm going to let you know. But I'm going to use my gifts, my skills, my natural functions, my natural way of moving and operating to fill a role in the house is in a natural sense. I naturally do things differently than my wife. And my wife takes on her role doing the things she naturally does. When she needs help, I'm in there helping her do it because it's a team measure. But there's just some things she's more gifted at doing. There's certain things I'm more gifted at and naturally prone to doing. And I carry those out. And so what happens is we create an environment in which we can now fully engage our progeny, our offspring, our children, and inculcate into them the mindset and the values and the values, interests, and principles that are going to guide them into a successful life. And when you don't have that, it suffers. When you don't have that, you tend to perpetuate what you brought into the situation. When you don't have a sense of coming together and growing together and building together, then you have some gaps and some crevices, some orifices that leave opportunity for all kind of negative stuff to creep in and plant seeds of negativity, plant seeds of failure, plant seeds of poverty, plant all these things. I tell people all the time, poverty is not your lot in life, but you have to come to an understanding of how you move out of poverty. And that's what I love about this book. It's just a representation of, you know, years and years and years of research. Like I said, if you just go to the back of the book, there are little hundreds, at least 30 page of references, that log the research that I've conducted over the years and the studies that I've conducted over the years. And it really, really, truly will lay out for you in great detail where we at. But what I love about my approach, what I love about what I do is I don't come to whine and complain. I don't come to do lectures on look how horrible things is. I come to tell you how horrible things is, how horrible things are, how it got that way, but also how we overcome it. Ultimately, if you show up to any conversation to discuss an issue and you don't have any idea of a solution, you're wasting time. Just talking about problems never solve them. Sitting up and moving and operating in the same mindset that created the problem never solves the problem. You're going to have to shift paradigms. You're going to have to get out of the way of thinking that created the problem in order to solve it. You're going to have to be able to think critically. You're going to have to be able to think laterally. You're going to have to be able to think outside of the box, because being in the box is what created the problem. And that's what all of this is about to me. It's about taking things outside the box. It's about looking at things differently and presenting them differently and working with people differently than we have in the past, because what we've done in the past, obviously to this point, has not worked. You don't keep doing the same thing over and over again when you're not producing results. So this is what this is about. I hope that you guys really log in and check in on a regular basis on what we're going to be doing with these book readings, because every book has a purpose. And I think the purposes of the books I've written touch so many lives. So I don't think that there are any books that I'm going to be reading throughout the end of the year that you can't tune in and find something to be touched by, blessed by, led by, inspired by, and empowered by. That was the goal of it. I want to take people into 2022 with optimism, with hope, with expectation, but also with a level of accountability and responsibility. With that in mind, I'm checking out of here because I'm probably going to be in trouble. I need to be moving on, going to do what I was asked to do a while ago in my honeydews. See, every man has honeydews. If you got a wife, you know what I'm talking about. Them honeydews needs to get done, or it's all kind of problems up in the Ponderosa. So I'm about to get off here. I'm gonna go do my honeydews, and then I'm gonna relax and chill and fellowship with the babies. Uh, Today is one of the daughter's birthday, so everybody's gonna kind of be over at the house. So I got to get home because I got supposed to be taking some stuff to the baby so she can finish cooking. But anyway, if you want the book, the link to the book is inside the description box. Also, the work we do at the Odyssey Project has produced unbelievable results in the way of programs, unbelievable results in the way of community engagement, working with young Black boys, along with my wife and Ghetto's Forgotten Daughters, and working with young Black girls. But we need your support. So also look in the description box and contribute. And we will continue to do what we're doing. Thanks so much. You guys have an unbelievable day. It was awesome for me to drop in. I'm going to have a blast reading these books. Next up, man, I got so many. Academic apartheid. We're going to talk about how we are failing to properly educate our children and how the system is designed to miseducate our children. This is the second book in a series of books that I'm writing on education and how it impacts our young children in the Black community. On that note, I'm out. You guys have a great day.